over the bridge, through the gate, and that's how you get to the big red hill. Past the bananas, through the cornfield, and soon you'll come to the little blue tree. Need to go across the noisy river. Then go through the quiet forest. Shh. And that's how you get to Yellow Valley. Over these big hills of yellow sand called sand dunes. Then you go down this wooden bridge called a boardwalk. And that's how you get to the beach. Climb over Strawberry Mountain. Then you cross Chocolate Lake. And that's how you get to Coney Island. First, you go over the mountain. Then you go through the tunnel. And that's how you get to the big yellow station. Past the lookout tree. Then across Crocodile Lake. And that's how you get to Treasure Island. One little piggy went to the hayfield. One little piggy went to the barn. And the littlest piggy went wee all the way to the apple tree. First, the river goes under the bridge. And then it goes past the froggy rocks. And then it gets to the waterfall. You go across the icy cold river. Then you go through the prickly forest. And that's how you get to Blueberry Hill. First, you have to go past the flowery garden. Then you go through the nutty forest. And that's how you get to the wishing well. You have to go over the bumpy bridge. Then go across Turtle River. And that's the quickest way to Grandma's house. You have to go up the stairs. Then you go over the Troll Bridge. And that's how you get to the party at Dora's house. First, you go across the windy river. Then you go over the slippery rock. And that's how you get to Crocodile Lake. First, you go across the mucky mud. Then you go over the Troll Bridge. And that's how you get to the volcano. First, you cross the Troll Bridge. Then you climb over the big rock. And that's how you get to the library. You go through the flowery garden. Then you go through the spider web. And that's how you get to the big blue bush, so Mommy Bugga can feed her babies. You go over the Troll Bridge. Then you go past Tico's tree. And that's how you get to the tall mountain to take Little Star home to the moon. Come home, Little Star. Come home. You go through the big gate. Then you go across Crocodile Lake. that's how you get to the high tower to save the prince. Help me! Ayúdame! But remember, watch out for the witch. First, you go through the echo bush.
Through the echo bush.
Then you go over the ocean. And that's how you get to Cookie's Island. You go through the jungle. Then you go past the bear's cave. And that's how you get to the chocolate tree. First, you go past the water spout. Then jump over the moon! La Luna! And that's how you get to Mary's house! Elam! Come home! Ooh! And don't forget to look for stars along the way! First, you have to go through the number pyramid. Then you have to find the shortcut to the mixed-up jungle. And that's how you get to the Lost City. Oh, stars! Try and get stars along the way. All Dora and Boots have to do is jump up and down on the blue triangle. First, you have to go through the octopus's garden. Then past the ocean rocks. And that's how you get to Mermaid Cove.